It's not about motivation. Winners need discipline. Wake up and win today. Discipline comes from within.
Boxing King Media in association with Boxro, Mr. Roy Jones Jr. in Sheffield of all places. Been to Sheffield before?
Yes. Been to Sheffield a couple of times, yes.
In the corner tonight for your fighter, James Wilkins. How did you find his performance? He got 10 rounds in against a solid opponent.
Thought he did very good tonight against that opponent. That was a very good opponent for him to do 10 rounds with, and he did a great job. You know, he was very patient, very smart. He did a really good job.
I saw the famous Roy Jones Jr. left hook in there. He threw it a few times, I think round 7 or 8. He wobbled his opponent a couple of times. Did you want him to take him out, or were you happy to get the rounds in?
No, I'm happy to get the rounds in. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He had a tune-up fight just last 2 weeks ago just to get him back active so he could fight over here, but he hadn't really fought in 2 years. So he needed the rounds.
What is next for him, Roy?
Next thing I think we got for him is I'm going to try to get him some type of intercontinental title fight next. And after that, first thing I got is I'm going to take him back to 126. Then I'm going to get him an intercontinental title fight. Hopefully, then we'll get him a title fight. The UK is brilliant to me because the fans truly, honestly love boxing. And that means the world to me.
What does it mean to you still getting mobbed everywhere? Does it ever get old?
Never gets old, because when you look at it from my point of view, the way I look at it is, would you want God to have people hating you? Or would you be happy and appreciative that God made the people love you? So I think it's better that they love me. So I'm happy with that.
That's beautifully put. We saw you yesterday go to the Ingle Gym. You know what made you turn up at the Ingle Gym, and what was that about?
It's a great gym. You almost can't come to Sheffield and not visit the Ingle Gym. You understand me? I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to go before now, but I didn't know it was so close and that it was so readily available. But this time I brought a guy with me named Jazz, who understood that, knew where it was and knew how to get there. So we went to it, and it was a great feeling to meet with everybody there. And these guys are some of the best ever. And to me, they produce some of the best champions. So I was very glad to be able to go there and pay my respect.
You see fans when they go to gyms like that with so much history, they get. You just didn't turn the music off. Obviously, the excitement of going somewhere like that. What's it like for a Hall of Fame boxer going to a gym where Brendan Ingle trained people like Nazim Muhammad, Johnny Nelson, etc.?
It's still awesome to me because, as a God-fearing man, you understand that God has produced a lot of different things on this planet. To me, Nas was one of the most exciting fighters ever come from this side. To me, he'd probably be my favorite from this side. So to go to the gym where he was basically born and raised at in boxing is a beautiful thing. Just like I'm sure he would admire coming to see where I started boxing at. So when you go to places like that, to know that those places are still intact and that they're still active and available for the kids, it's a beautiful thing to see.
What did you make of Brendan Ingle as a coach? Any memories of him? You would have heard what Dominic said yesterday. They took some of your moves, some of your footwork.
Yes, they took some of my moves, and I knew Dominic and Brendan were great people, because when you're not too proud to go take moves from somebody that did something that you didn't know or that you didn't never learn, and you can always keep learning to let you know why Brendan was such a great coach. When anytime a guy continues to learn until the day he dies, he's a smart coach. He's a brilliant person. Because if you're not learning anymore, then it's time to go.
Fascinating. I noticed in a clip you said to Dominic yesterday, the guy that controversially got the gold medal in the Olympics, apparently a few weeks ago, come and gave you the medal. What was all that about?
I wanted to discuss it on TV. I was just letting him know that happened, but the guy really did come back. And it's going to be in my story when I finally let a movie go. It will be there, but yes, he did come do that.
That's really interesting, man. And then I just want to get your opinion on a couple of things. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul is officially announced 16-ounce gloves, 2-minute rounds. You're the last person to share the ring with Mike Tyson. Is it too dangerous for a guy at that age, or is it dangerous for Jake Paul?
They ain't wearing 16-ounce gloves and headgear to save Mike Tyson. Trust me.
What's it like at that age getting punched? Because people are obviously raising that as a potential concern.
Man, listen, when you're a warrior, it don't really matter. Understand, we warriors. We don't care about getting punched. We don't care what age we are. This is what we do. If he can get in shape like he did with me to go 8 rounds, he's trouble. He's a problem for anybody because he is Iron Mike. Simple.
And they're labeling it an exhibition, but we saw with your fight with him, he wasn't holding back. He was like...
He don't know how to hold back. They can label what they want to. Mike don't know how to hold back. Mike's like a pit bulldog. A pit bulldog don't know how to play. It's going to turn to a fight either way.
Fair play. What do you think will happen in that fight?
Well, I don't know. It all depends. No, Mike not trying to kill Jake, I don't think. But I do think he will put Jake in his place, So I think it'll be a great exhibition. I think Mike will show him that, if I want to, I can't kill you. And if he adheres to that, it'll be cool. If he don't adhere to it, then Mike will do what he got to do.
In Saudi, when I met you recently, we talked about, I got you and Tommy Fury to face off. People joked about it, but that may seem a realistic proposition. Could that be back on?
I mean, you got to think about it. If Tommy Fury fought Jake Paul, Mike's 3 years older than me. So if they can fight, why can't me and Tommy fight? If we wanted to, if Tommy wanted to fight. But I don't think they really interested. I think they just gonna move in another direction, or they probably waiting for a rematch with Jake Paul because he beat Jake before, and Jake keep making his name bigger by doing things like he's doing now. So that makes the payday bigger for Tommy. So they probably waiting on that. But if he did want to, I mean, it'd be hard to say no.
Last question I've got for you, and ask you about putting weight on as a heavyweight and then dropping weight and fighting again. You experienced that going up and down in divisions, and some people suggested that may have not benefited you. We've seen Tyson Fury clearly dropping a lot of weight. How will that affect him in the Usyk fight, do you think?
It's totally different with me and what Fury's doing. I dropped 25 pounds of muscle. It did basically deplete me. That was pretty much took everything else out. But to do something great, you got to make a sacrifice. The Bible talks about sacrifice. I'm sure the Quran probably talk about sacrifice. To do something beautiful, you got to sacrifice. So I knew that by doing that, I probably was going to sacrifice. But to sacrifice and make history, I do it all over again the same way, because I knew what I was up against. I knew I may not be the same when I come back down. You understand me? Which was understandable. So people can say what they want to say, do what they want to say, do what they want to do. Had I fought any of those guys that I lost to in my prime before I went to heavyweight, they all had no chance. None of them had a chance. You understand me? I'm the only guy to ever go a full round in his prime and not be hit by another top-notch fighter. That was Vinny Penzenza, who went from 135 all the way up to 168. You understand me? So anytime a guy tells you that Roy Jones Jr. is not the GOAT, they're lying to you. Who else turned professional as a junior middleweight, 154 like Canelo, and became heavyweight champion of the world? Nobody ever did it. So they can say, before he came, after the heavyweight, he was this, that. No. You judge people by what they did in their prime before I sacrificed my body to go make history for the people. The same people you make history for, now they turn around and turn on you and say, oh no, he's not the greatest fighter of all time. Who else made that kind of sacrifice, knowing that they probably sacrificing the rest of their career to make history? Who else did it? Who else went from, like I said, just tell me one other fighter that ever turned pro as a junior middleweight and became heavyweight champ. You can't in the history of boxing. Why? Because it never happened. So who's pound for pound the greatest then? It's obvious. It's an obvious answer, not a question. It's an obvious answer. The man went from 154 to heavyweight. Come on, bro. What more to explain?
There's a freestyle in there somewhere. I met Antonio Tarver in Sheffield a few weeks ago, and I asked him what was it like facing a prime Roy Jones Jr. who nobody wanted to fight. This was his response. I was getting to watch it.
I don't want to see it's important. First of all, if Antonio Tarver tell you the truth, he didn't fight a prime Roy Jones. He fought a prime Roy Jones. He fought him before he went to the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fight a prime Roy Jones. He fought a depleted Roy Jones. And a guy who wasn't even as depleted as Roy Jones was, which was when he fought Bernard Hopkins, he wasn't as depleted as I was, because he lost fat. I lost muscle. He lost fat and got down and fought Bernard, and he said, now he see what I'm talking about. He got beat by Bernard because he was depleted. So don't tell me I was in my prime then. I was not. Had I fought him before I went to heavyweight, that wouldn't happen that way. And he know that too. They just don't want to tell you the truth about it. So why do people only want to talk to him about Roy Jones Jr.? Because that's the only thing he ever did. He beat Superman when Superman had to sacrifice and lost put on 25 pounds of muscle, then snatched off 25 pounds of muscle. That's when you beat Superman, after he had been exposed to kryptonite. You couldn't have touched Superman before that. Simple.
Mr. Roy Jones Jr., it's a pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Win gold now. IPMB is giving away 5 24-karat gold coins to our token holders worth over $2,000 each.
Let's do this.
Thank you very much for this great news. It's amazing.
It's never been easier to own gold, so join the raffle now.
I got a question for you. Where can discipline take you? Discipline points you towards your goals.